In the far corner of the Milky Way, there was a powerful alien empire called the Viral Dominion. They ruled hundreds of planets. Their ships were large as cities, and their technology was far beyond human understanding. To them, humans were nothing more than a small and weak race, useful only for trade or labor. But one day, everything changed when a human doctor was called to their world. Dr. Aaron Miles was an ordinary man from Earth. He worked at a small hospital in New London, a peaceful city rebuilt after the global conflict. He was known for his calm heart, gentle eyes, and his deep belief that every life had value. He never thought that one day his skills would be needed among the stars. It was early morning when he received the strange message. A glowing silver sphere floated outside his clinic door. Humming softly, when it opened, a hologram appeared, tall, blue-skinned, and wearing a royal emblem. The voice said, "Dr. Miles, the Viral Empire requests your service. Our Emperor's daughter is dying, and none of our healers can save her." Before Aaron could answer, a beam of white light surrounded him, and the next thing he knew, he was standing inside a huge alien ship. The air was cold and smelled of metal and ozone. Strange creatures moved around him, tall aliens with crystal eyes and silver skin. They looked at him with disgust and confusion. One whispered, "A human?" The Emperor must be desperate. Aaron said nothing. He just followed the soldier who gestured for him to come. They walked through long glowing corridors until they reached a massive door. 2 guards stood there, holding weapons that buzzed like angry insects. The door opened with a hiss, revealing a large room filled with machines that pulsed with alien light. In the center was a medical bed surrounded by blue energy fields, and on that bed lay a young alien woman, pale, weak, her chest rising slowly with every painful breath. Aaron stepped closer, his heart heavy. He could see the worry in her face, even as she slept. An alien doctor stood beside him and said coldly, "She is Princess Firea, daughter of Emperor Tarek. She was infected by a strange energy after visiting a war zone. We have used every tool we know, but her body rejects our treatments." Aaron nodded. Studying the glowing readings on a floating screen, he couldn't understand most of it. But he saw something strange. The energy in her blood was not stable. It was fighting against her cells. He asked softly, "What have you done to treat her?" The alien replied, "We have used radiation purifiers, nanobot repair swarms, and life resonance amplifiers. Nothing works." Aaron frowned. "Maybe you are attacking the wrong thing. Maybe her body is trying to heal itself, and your machines are stopping it." The alien glared. "Human, do not tell us how to practice medicine. Our science is 10,000 years ahead of yours." But before Aaron could speak again, a loud alarm rang. The princess's heart rate dropped, and the lights in the chamber flickered red. Everyone panicked, shouting commands in their alien language. Aaron moved fast, pushing through them, and grabbed a small medkit from his own bag. He took a breath and said, "Move aside. Let me try." The alien guards aimed their weapons, but a deep voice stopped them. "Let him work," the voice said. Everyone turned. The Emperor himself had entered. Tall and fierce, his robe shining with royal sigils, he looked at the human doctor with cold eyes. "You have one chance, human. Save my daughter." Aaron placed his hand gently on the princess's wrist. Feeling the weak pulse, he noticed that her skin was burning hot, but her hands were freezing cold. He spoke softly. "She is in shock. Her body is fighting 2 energies at once." He used his scanner and then took out an old-fashioned medical needle filled with a blue serum. One alien gasped, "What is that primitive tool?" Aaron ignored him, injecting the serum near her heart. He whispered, "Come on. Stay with me." For a moment, nothing happened. The monitor showed a flat line. The Emperor clenched his fists. His guards raised their weapons again, but then a faint beep, one, then two. Then steady rhythm returned. The princess's chest lifted slightly. Her breathing deepened. Aaron sighed in relief, his hands shaking slightly. He looked up and said, "She's stable for now. But she needs rest and no more machine interference." The Emperor stared in silence, then nodded slowly. "Very well. Human doctor," he said in a low tone, "you have bought her time. But do not fail again." Aaron bowed his head respectfully. "I'll do my best, Your Majesty." As he stepped back, the alien doctors whispered among themselves. They couldn't understand how such a simple human method worked when their advanced machines had failed. Some called it luck, others called it madness, but deep inside, a spark of doubt had appeared in their minds. Maybe humans were not as weak as they thought that night. As Aaron sat alone in the quiet alien room, looking at the stars outside the transparent wall, he wondered why fate had brought him here. He didn't know that his small act of courage was the beginning of something far greater, something that would shake the entire Virel Empire and prove to the galaxy that sometimes humanity's greatest strength is not technology, but the heart that refuses to give up. The next morning, the alien ship was quiet. The bright blue lights of the medical chamber were dimmed, and the air smelled of strange herbs and steel. Dr. Aaron Miles had not slept all night. He stayed beside the bed of Princess Virea. Watching her heartbeat rise and fall on the glowing screen, her breathing was weak but steady. And that gave him hope. The alien doctors walked in, whispering to one another. They still did not trust the human. They believed his success was only an accident. One of them said coldly, "Do not touch the princess without permission, human. Your primitive ways could kill her." Aaron didn't respond. He only looked at them and said softly, "You have had your chance. Now, please, let me do my work." He turned back to the patient, studying her pale skin and the golden veins of energy under it. He noticed that the machines around her were connected to every part of her body, draining energy and trying to balance it, but he could see it was hurting her more than helping. He walked around the bed, removing one connector after another, until only one machine remained. The head alien doctor shouted, "What are you doing, you fool?" "Our systems are keeping her alive," Aaron replied calmly. "No, your systems are fighting her body. She needs rest, not resistance." The alien doctor looked ready to argue, but then the Emperor's voice came from behind them. "Let him continue," the Emperor said, his tone cold but curious. The room fell silent again. Aaron took out his small human medical bag, full of old-style instruments, needles, scanners, and tiny glass vials. The aliens looked at them with disgust. Thinking they were toys, he smiled slightly, remembering how his father, also a doctor, once told him, sometimes the simplest tools save the most complicated lives. He gently cleaned the princess's arm and injected a small dose of human stabilizer serum. It was not alien tech, but it was made with love and experience. The Emperor stepped closer, his tall frame casting a long shadow across the bed. "Tell me, human, why do you help us?" he asked slowly. "My people have given your kind nothing but scorn." Aaron looked up, meeting the Emperor's crystal eyes. "Because life is life, no matter what form it takes," he said quietly. "Because no one deserves to die when help is possible." The Emperor said nothing, but his eyes softened for a brief moment. He turned and left the chamber without a word. The alien doctors exchanged uneasy glances, unsure whether to follow or stay. Hours passed. Aaron continued monitoring her, giving her small treatments and adjusting her temperature manually. He used warm compresses, oxygen flow, and a simple human heart monitor. The aliens were amazed. He was doing everything without a single advanced machine. To them, it looked primitive, but to Aaron, it was real medicine. The kind that listened to the body, not just numbers later. One young alien nurse approached him. Her eyes full of curiosity, she asked quietly, "Human doctor, how did you know the machines were wrong?" Aaron smiled and said, "Because sometimes machines forget that a body has its own rhythm. We must listen, not just measure." The nurse nodded slowly, trying to understand. As the hours went by, the princess began to show small signs of recovery. Her skin's golden glow steadied, and her pulse became stronger. Aaron took a deep breath, feeling hope rise inside him. But suddenly, the chamber lights flashed red again, and an alarm echoed through the hall. The nurse gasped. "Her energy levels are rising too fast." Aaron ran to her side and checked the readings. The alien technology was reacting to his medicine in an unknown way. Her body was healing, but the alien machines thought it was an attack. Sparks flew from the control panels. The air filled with smoke. Aaron shouted, "Shut it off!" Now, the aliens froze, unsure what to do. Aaron grabbed a heavy cable and pulled it free with his bare hands. The machines went silent. The princess lay still for a moment, her body glowing softly in golden light. Aaron held his breath, watching, waiting. Then she moved slightly. Her lips parted, and she whispered something in her native language. The nurse gasped. She spoke. She has not spoken in 7 days. Aaron smiled, whispering, "Welcome back." Outside the room, alien guards and doctors stood in stunned silence. They had never seen anyone heal like that, especially not because of human hands. The young nurse ran to report to the emperor. When he heard, he stood silent for a long time before saying, "The human doctor may truly be different." Later that night, as Aaron cleaned his instruments and recorded notes on his small datapad, he felt exhaustion pulling at him, but he could not rest. He knew this was just the beginning. The alien technology had nearly killed her once. If they used it again, it might finish the job. He needed to find out what was really making her sick. He whispered to himself, "Something here is hidden. Something they're not telling me." He turned to the window again, looking out into the endless black space filled with stars. For a brief moment, he missed Earth, the warm sun, the sound of birds, and the smell of rain. But he also knew that here, among these proud aliens, humanity's heart had a chance to prove itself. He would not give up, not until the princess was truly safe. Somewhere deep in the ship, hidden beyond steel walls, a dark shadow watched him through secret cameras. A voice whispered, "The human is learning too much." And far away, the emperor looked toward the chamber door, wondering if this small human might be the key to saving not just his daughter, but his entire empire. The human touch had begun to change everything. The alien ship floated silently through deep space. Its metal hull shimmered under distant stars, and inside, the air was heavy with fear and hope. For 7 long days, the princess had hung between life and death, and now, every alien eye was on the strange human doctor who dared to defy their science. Dr. Aaron Miles stood beside the bed, his hands trembling slightly. Princess Firia's breathing had grown weak again, her pulse flickering on the glowing alien monitor. The emperor waited outside, silent, refusing to leave until he knew his daughter's fate. Inside the chamber, alien doctors whispered that the human would finally fail. They said the first recovery was luck, nothing more. Aaron ignored them. His eyes focused only on the princess. He could see her body fighting again, glowing lines of golden energy twisting under her skin like lightning. He spoke softly to himself. "She's not dying. She's fighting." He adjusted her position, checked her vitals, and searched for a pattern. Then, his eyes widened as he realized something. The alien medicine they had given her days ago had changed her blood. It wasn't healing. It was slowly poisoning her cells. The human serum he used had fought it off once, but the alien nanotech was returning. They had built machines so smart that they couldn't imagine being wrong. But Erin knew what was happening. Her body was rejecting the alien technology itself. He called out, "Shut off all machines." "Now," the head alien doctor shouted back. "Are you mad?" "Without them, she will die," Erin snapped. "She's dying because of them." He reached forward and pulled the main energy line free, sparks flying across the floor. The alarm screamed, red lights filled the room, and guards rushed in, weapons raised. At that exact moment, the Emperor appeared, his voice thundering. "Hold your fire." The guards froze, their glowing rifles aimed, but still, Erin turned to the Emperor and said quickly, "Your machines are killing her, not saving her. Her body needs to fight on its own." The Emperor looked uncertain, his eyes moving from his daughter's pale face to the flickering machines. "Then what will you do, human?" he asked slowly. Erin answered, "Everything I can, the human way." He took a deep breath and began working with calm precision. He opened his small medical bag, taking out tools that looked ancient to the aliens. Metal, glass, and cloth. He began a process none of them had ever seen. Manual heart compression, oxygen mask, and serum injection. His movements were firm, rhythmic, and full of determination. One alien whispered in disbelief, "He's touching her. He's using his hands." Another replied, "That's impossible. No one can heal like that." Minutes felt like hours. Erin's arms ached. Sweat dripped down his forehead, but he didn't stop. He kept pressing, counting softly, whispering to her, "Come on, princess, breathe. You can do this." The monitor was flat, lifeless, and everyone held their breath. Then suddenly, a single beep, then another, then a steady rhythm. The sound filled the silent chamber like a heartbeat of hope. The Emperor took a slow step forward, his eyes wide. The alien doctors gasped. One of them whispered, "It's impossible." "She's alive." The princess's chest rose weakly, her color slowly returning. Erin sighed deeply, sitting back against the wall, exhausted but smiling. "She's back," he whispered, his voice barely a breath. The Emperor looked at him for a long time. Then, to everyone's shock, the great ruler of the Varel Empire bowed his head slightly. "Human doctor," he said, "you have done what none of my kind could do." Erin smiled tiredly. "It wasn't just medicine. Sometimes healing needs faith." The Emperor's eyes softened. "You risked your life to save her." "Even when my people mocked you," Erin replied quietly, "because saving lives is what we do. It doesn't matter whose." The alien doctor stood silent, ashamed. They had seen something they could not explain, a human touching life itself and bringing it back. To them, it was not science. It was something beyond logic. One young doctor whispered, "Maybe humans aren't weak after all." Hours later, when the ship drifted in calm silence, Erin sat beside the princess's bed, watching her sleep peacefully. Her body glowed with a soft golden light, steady and calm. He checked her vitals. Everything was stable. He leaned back in his chair, whispering, "You did it. Your body healed itself." Outside, alien soldiers and healers gathered, speaking in hushed tones. They called it the human miracle, the event that no machine could explain. The Emperor made an announcement across the ship. "The princess lives." By the hands of a human. The word spread like wildfire through the empire. Some refused to believe it. Others began to question everything they had been taught. Erin didn't care about fame or pride. He only cared that she would live. But deep inside, he knew something had changed forever. For the first time, An alien empire had seen humanity's true strength, not in weapons or machines, but in courage, compassion, and hope. As Aaron finally closed his tired eyes, he thought of Earth, of home, of humanity's long journey through the stars. He whispered softly, "Maybe now they'll see who we really are." And far beyond that room, in the royal chamber, the emperor looked out at the endless stars and murmured, "Perhaps the universe was wrong about humans." The miracle had begun to echo across galaxies, and the story of one human doctor who defied the impossible would never be forgotten. The news spread across the Virel Empire like fire in the dark. A human doctor had saved the emperor's daughter, something no alien healer could do on every planet. From the shining crystal cities to the shadowed mines, people spoke the same words. The human doctor, they whispered. The miracle worker. In the royal ship, the atmosphere had changed. The guards no longer looked at Dr. Aaron Miles with disgust. They looked with quiet respect. Even the alien doctors, who once mocked him, now watched him closely. They followed his every move, trying to understand how such simple tools could defeat death itself. Princess Firea was resting peacefully, her golden glow steady and warm. Sometimes her eyes would open, and she would smile faintly at Aaron. She could not speak much yet, but her gratitude showed in her eyes. Aaron would always smile back and say softly, "You're getting stronger every day." The emperor visited often now. He would stand beside his daughter's bed in silence, watching her breathe. Sometimes he would ask Aaron questions, not about machines or science, but about humanity. "Tell me, doctor," he said one day, "why do humans risk everything for others, even for strangers?" Aaron replied gently, "Because we remember what pain feels like, and we don't want anyone else to feel it." The emperor stayed quiet, thinking deeply about those words. Outside the chamber, not everyone was happy. Many alien nobles were angry that a human had been given honor in the royal ship. They saw it as an insult to their pride. One commander whispered, "If the emperor trusts this human too much, he could change everything." Another replied, "Humans must not rise. They are dangerous." Rumors spread that some leaders wanted to remove Aaron quietly, but the emperor ignored them. He had seen the truth with his own eyes. Still, the tension in the air grew stronger every day. Aaron continued to work, studying the strange energy that had once infected the princess. He discovered it came from a weapon used in the alien war, a weapon that broke down living cells slowly. No one had realized it because they trusted their machines too much. Aaron showed his research to the emperor and said, "This weapon will destroy more than enemies. It will destroy your people too." The emperor's face darkened. "You are saying my empire's greatest creation is a curse?" Aaron nodded quietly. "Yes, sometimes power blinds us to danger." That night, the emperor held a secret council meeting. Only a few trusted generals and scientists were there. Aaron stood beside him, calm but firm. He explained how human medicine focused on healing with balance and patience, not force. The aliens listened, some with interest, others with disbelief. One old scientist finally said, "Perhaps we have forgotten the meaning of life. We treat everything as a machine, even our own hearts." The emperor looked around the room and said, "This human saved my daughter when our machines failed. Perhaps it is time we learn from them." There was silence, but for the first time, no one dared to disagree. Meanwhile, in the medical wing, Princess Firea was awake again. She sat by the window, looking out at the stars, her strength slowly returning. When Aaron entered, she smiled softly. "You are a strange man, Dr. Miles," he chuckled. "I've been told that before." She looked at her glowing hands and whispered, "You gave me life again." "I will not waste it." Aaron shook his head. "You saved yourself?" "I only helped." Their friendship grew quietly, Like a light in the coldness of the ship, she asked him about Earth, and he told her stories of blue skies, oceans, and laughter. The alien guards would pause outside the door, listening in silence. They had never heard such warmth in words before. But beyond the royal ship, the Empire began to stir. People questioned the old ways. Young aliens began studying human methods, doctors, soldiers, and scholars started using human ideas of empathy and teamwork. And everywhere, whispers spread that perhaps humans were not weak. Perhaps they were something more. Of course, not everyone accepted this change. A secret group of alien nobles met in the shadows. Their eyes full of anger, they said, "The Emperor is losing his mind. We cannot let a human lead our people into weakness." Their leader, a high general named Rinner, clenched his fist and said, "If the Emperor will not protect our pride, then we will." Unaware of the danger growing around him, Aaron focused only on his work. He spent hours studying the alien data and preparing reports for the Emperor. He didn't realize that his presence had already become a symbol, hope for some, threat for others. Late one night, Aaron stood alone by the princess's chamber. He looked out at the stars and whispered, "Maybe change starts small, with one act of kindness." Behind him, Princess Viria's voice answered softly, "But kindness can be the strongest force in the universe." He turned and smiled. "Maybe you're right, Princess." At that same moment, far below in the engine halls, a group of soldiers moved quietly. They carried forbidden weapons and spoke in low tones. "The human must not see the sunrise," one of them hissed. As the lights flickered in the corridor, a shadow crept closer to Aaron's door. The Empire was awakening, but not all who awakened wanted peace, and soon Dr. Aaron Miles would learn that saving a life was only the beginning. Now he would have to save the truth itself. The alien ship drifted silently through the darkness of space. The stars outside glowed faintly, watching the story of one human unfold. Dr. Aaron Miles had done what no one thought possible. He saved the life of an alien princess and changed the heart of an empire. But peace never comes without a price. That night, as the ship slept, the traitors moved. They crept through the silent halls, their faces hidden under dark helmets. Their goal was simple: destroy the human and erase the shame he had brought upon them. In their hearts, they believed they were protecting the honor of their race. They did not know they were about to destroy their own hope. Aaron sat alone in the medical chamber, studying the final results of his research. The data showed something beautiful. The princess's body was fully healed, her cells glowing with balanced energy. The infection was gone, and her strength was returning faster than expected. He smiled quietly and whispered, "You did it, Princess. You're free." Just then, the lights flickered, the door opened, and 3 soldiers stepped inside with cold eyes. Aaron looked up, confused. "Can I help you?" he asked. The leader said coldly, "You have helped enough, human. Your time is over." They raised their weapons, glowing with deadly blue light. Before they could fire, a voice rang through the room. "Stop!" It was Princess Viria, standing weakly in the doorway, her golden glow returning. She held herself tall, her eyes sharp. "You dare attack the one who saved me," she said fiercely. The soldiers hesitated, unsure, but the leader snarled, "He has poisoned your mind, my princess. The Emperor has been blinded by his lies." Aaron stepped forward slowly, hands raised. "Please, listen. There's no need for this," the leader shouted. Silence, human, and fired. The energy blast missed Aaron narrowly, hitting the wall and filling the air with sparks. In that chaos, the princess moved between them, shielding Aaron with her own body. The shockwave threw them both to the floor. Smoke filled the chamber, alarms screamed, and guards came running. When the haze cleared, Aaron was on his knees, holding the princess as she gasped for breath. He looked into her glowing eyes and whispered, "Stay with me. You're stronger than this." She smiled faintly. "You humans." Always believing, the Emperor arrived moments later. Fury in his eyes, he saw the fallen soldiers and his daughter bleeding. And his voice thundered, "Enough!" Guards surrounded the room. Seizing the traitors, the Emperor knelt beside Aaron, his face full of fear and grief. "Can you save her again?" he asked. Voice shaking, Aaron took a deep breath. "I will try." He worked quickly, using what little tools he had. His hands moved with calm determination. Guided by heart, not machine, minutes turned into hours. The chamber was filled with silence, except for the soft hum of the monitor. Finally, the golden light around the princess pulsed softly again. Her breathing steadied, and her eyes opened. Aaron sat back, exhausted, tears in his eyes. "She'll live," he whispered. The Emperor closed his eyes and said quietly, "You have given me my daughter twice, Dr. Miles." Word of the attack spread quickly. The Emperor ordered the traitors to stand trial. But instead of revenge, he did something unexpected. He spoke before his entire empire through a galaxy-wide broadcast. "My people," he began, "we believed strength was power, and we forgot the strength of compassion." He looked straight into the camera. "A human, one we called weak, has shown us the meaning of true courage. He risked his life for my daughter, and for us all." He paused, his voice firm. "From this day forward, the Virel Empire will no longer look down on humanity. We will walk beside them, across the stars." Millions of aliens watched in silence. Some wept, some bowed their heads, and others began to see humans in a new light. After the speech, the Emperor met Aaron privately. He said softly, "Dr. Miles, you have done more for my people than any warrior or leader." Aaron smiled humbly. "I only did what any human would do," the Emperor replied. "That is exactly what makes you different." In the days that followed, the princess recovered completely. She became an ambassador of peace, traveling with Aaron to teach healing and understanding. Together, they helped create the first human-alien medical exchange. And slowly, bridges of trust began to form between their worlds. One evening, as Aaron prepared to return to Earth, the princess met him at the airlock. She looked at him with warm eyes. "You changed everything, Dr. Miles," she said. He smiled. "No, Princess, you did. I only reminded you that life is worth fighting for." She placed a glowing pendant in his hand. "So you never forget the stars you healed." Aaron nodded, his eyes shining. "And you never forget the heart that made you live." As his ship left the alien vessel, Aaron looked out at the galaxy. The stars seemed brighter now, more alive. He whispered softly, "Maybe one human can change a universe." Back on the Virel ship, the Emperor watched the departing craft and said to his council, "We once thought humans were fragile, but now we know their hearts are indestructible." The legend of the human doctor spread across galaxies. It became a story told for generations, a story of hope, compassion, and courage, and wherever it was told, the final words were always the same. Sometimes, the most powerful weapon in the universe isn't a machine or a beam of light. It's a human heart.